Hi, Orchinistas! Welcome to the channel Forever Orchids. My name is Tracy. If you're an orchid lover just like I am, you very well may have a Psychopsis. Yes, you might. It almost looks prehistoric, doesn't it? Look at these gorgeous leaves that a Psychopsis has. This is Psychopsis Mendenhall, and this is the Hildas cultivar, which is an FCC by the American Orchid Society. Whew, no pressure there, trying to keep this alive. I need to repot this. I've had new growth on it. This is the current new pseudobulb that has grown, and I have new roots, and this pseudobulb is growing outside the pot. I would like to contain this as much as possible. We've got lots of new roots growing on this plant. Let's see if we can get in there and you can see that. Maybe it'll focus on those new roots. Hope it does. I really hope it does. So we're going to repot this together. Now, I will admit, I've never repotted, or have I? Maybe once I've repotted a Psychopsis at one of the places that I volunteer at. This used to be in the Oncidium family. I do believe that they have now put it back in its own separate category now, Psychopsis. And we're going to get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is take it out of the pot. This is the original pot that it was in. And I'm doing it very gently because I do have some roots that are coming from the bottom. And I will tell you that Psychopsis do not like to be repotted. They do not like their roots to be disturbed. I've got a lot of roots on here that it's really hard to see what's viable and what's not. I do have, it's not a sphagnum plug, but here's the plug from when this plant actually came out of flask. And this appears to be planted in nothing but sphagnum moss. And I've got a, what is this, a 4-inch pot, I believe? 4.5 maybe. Doesn't say on the bottom. And I'm going to plant it like this here so that it will have plenty of room to continue growing. Now, Psychopsis, like, I know this one's in sphagnum moss, and in my environment, it's really making me think I should continue in sphagnum moss. I might go ahead and put on the bottom here maybe some bark and some perlite. I could also do inorganic material. Since they don't like to be repotted, they do not like their roots to be disturbed, then I might go with an inorganic media on the bottom. I'm just not quite sure. Let's see, I know that's kind of disturbing the roots. If I push on it, maybe. I'd like to get this a little bit closer here. Give it plenty of room. Now, if I do that, then look at how much room I've got in my pot here. I am going to put this back in a plastic pot. And I think, guys, I'm going to put maybe some perlite on the bottom. I've got some large grade perlite here. I've also got some bark over here that I could put on the bottom, a little bit of it as well. And I don't need much, to be honest with you. All right, just a little bit. Weight the pot down ever so slightly. It's going to be a really fast, quick repot here. And I think what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just use this sphagnum moss to repot it in. The plant was doing really good in sphagnum moss in my environment. Oh, I did want to try something else though. I've also read that tree fern And I do have some tree fern here. I think I'm going to add some tree fern. I can find, there we go. I'm going to put some tree fern down in here. Tree fern will hold moisture. Now we've got some bark and some perlite up to about here with the tree fern, and I'm going to top it off with the sphagnum moss. Let these new roots grow down in that. Now the sphagnum moss here was soaking in sea kelp extract. And that's going to help this plant with the stress of repotting it. Pack it down gently, gently, gently. I am really trying my best not to disturb those roots. I'm basically what is called up potting. I'm not disturbing these roots. I'm not taking all of that media out. That was already around the plant. Oops. Sphagnum moss holds an awful lot of water. It's like a sponge. I want to be very mindful of the new root tips that are growing and don't press too hard down into my pot here. Put a little bit here on this back side where I do have another new root growing. Now this should be good for probably, unless the media gets really sour, and that could happen. But I think this is going to be really good for the next couple of years, as here's our new growth, and as we just get, and you can see, these are the two newest growths, and you can see they don't get very wide, and the rhizomes are pretty close together. So I've got several years worth of growth for this plant here in this 4-inch pot that it'll be able to stay in. Now Psychopsis do well indoors. They're one of the plants, one of the orchids that will do well indoors because they like the same temperatures that we do. Put my tags back in here now. Always remember when you're repotting to put your tag back in there. And also you want to put on there when you repotted. The best thing to do that with is a pencil. It won't wash off. A number 2 pencil works really, really well, and it won't wash off as you're watering your plants. Now, Psychopsis, like I was saying, they like the same temperatures that we do, so it does very well indoors. High of 85, no lower than 59. They also like a lot of high humidity. You could potentially put this outdoors if you've got a lathe house, a shade house. For the summer, you could keep them outdoors, provided your temperatures don't go 90, 100. I wouldn't do that. These are really sensitive plants, but they're just gorgeous leaves when they are growing. So it's a really nice plant to have. And I've got one that I recently got that is in spike. So stay tuned to the channel, like and subscribe. It really helps my channel out if you're interested in growing orchids. I've got 30 years worth of experience in growing orchids, and I've got some tips and tricks that I will share along the way. But I will, the next video, not the next video, I'm sorry, but stay tuned to the channel so that you will see when my Psychopsis blooms. I will definitely be sharing that with you. So until next time, guys, happy orchid growing. Bye.